Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we'll be going over a few Dragon Ruler combos. Now, there is a couple of them, so we'll go over the door one to start off with. This is the line to get your Koa'ki Dragon on the field and then get Chasma on field as well to lock your opponent out of light and dark monsters. Obviously at the moment this is pretty crazy because most of the meta at the moment is light and darks, you know, Malice, Memento, Fiendsmith, all your live twin stuff. Blue Eyes, you know, they're all light and dark, so this is like a really good way to get into that. So to start off, we will go on our main phase normal Dora. When this card is summoned, he can add a 1 to level 4 fire dragon monster from deck to hand. We will then add the Genroku here, and then on a new chain, Genroku effect will then activate. So when this card is added from deck to hand without me drawing it, he can summon himself for free, and then he becomes a tuner. When he's summoned, you also have to say you have to declare the effect to make him a level 4, because if not, he'll say a level 3 tuner, and then obviously this is not going to work, right? So we'll then make him level 4, we'll then synchro them away into the Bident Dragon. Cool. And then we'll go Bident Dragon effect to target the Genroku to summon back. We'll then go Genroku effect, Tributor's Cost, special 1 fire dragon from the deck. We will then summon the Padra, and then Templar Dragon Padra will then activate to add a Sangan spell trap. We will add the Sangan Cannon. We'll then activate this to then add a 1 to level 4 fire dragon. This is where we add the Chandra in the deck, and then we'll go Chandra effect to special because there is a fire dragon on field. He can special himself for free, so we'll special him. We'll then synchro these two away to any generic level 7. Normally you play like a Black Rose, another Bident, or the Q-Belt in this deck. We'll then XC summon these two into the Chasma. Now, Chasma has a really cool effect to be able to dump as cost, then detach, and then copy the effect. This is extremely important to know that it copies the effect, it doesn't become its effect. So things like when you send the Tempest to add any dragon from deck to hand, it can't be Ash because it's copying the effect, okay? So we'll go effect to send the title from deck to grave, then detach to then become the effect to Foolish Burial any card. So we'll Foolish Burial the Koa'ki Dragon. Now at this point, we'll pass over and we'll say your turn. We'll pass our turn. On their draw standby phase, whatever you want to do, we'll go effect. So we will send the Redox, detach, and then we'll target the Koa'ki Dragon to summon back. So this will then summon back on their turn, and then now they're locked out of light and darks. I've had a lot of games where this by itself will just win the game instantly. It just has so much pressure on the card to sit there and just tell your opponent you can't special summon light and darks. The funny thing is, because it is 1900 attack normal, it actually is a crazy big monster. A lot of normal summons can't actually beat over this, but that's the first combo to get into the light and dark locker, and we'll go into the next one here. Alrighty guys, so for the second combo, we'll be going for the Flickers combo. So this is Flickers with any dragon. We'll just use Mag as an example because that's like one of the coolest cards, right? So first we'll go Flickers effect, pitch in 1 dragon to add 2. Now the sequencing is actually really important how you do this because it actually does matter quite a bit. I normally will add the wind one, and then you always grab the Fire Baby if you don't have Blaster in hand or you don't have this in hand already. Okay, and then we'll go Sparks effect, pitch in the Storms to then summon the Blaster. Cool. At this point, we'll go Tempest effect to banish 2. So any of the 2 dragons, doesn't really matter, to summon. We'll then go Xyz for Chasma, and then we'll go Chasma effect to send the title. Now make sure that you detach the Blaster here, you don't detach the Tempest, because all the Dragon Rulers are a hard once per turn effect. You only use one of their effects once per turn. Make sure you detach the Blaster because we haven't actually used its effect. We use the baby fire dragon to be able to summon him out. So we detach Blaster here. And then we'll be sending the Kwaku Meru Draco here. Okay. So here, we'll go Waterfall's effect. Banish that one card that you discarded, that one dragon that you discarded, plus that Blaster to summon itself. And then from here, we will go Blaster effect, because it was banished, to add a fire dragon. At this point, we just go Draw. And then we'll go Draw F to add a 1 level 4 fire dragon. At this point, we just add the Genroku effect. So we'll go Genroku effect. When he's added to summon himself, become a level 4 tuner, we will synchro this away. There we go. Into a Bident Dragon. Now, there is a few variations you can do at this point. So we'll go Bident Dragon, target the Genroku here. That always happens. Now, you can actually synchro these into the Dissipator, and then Dissipator target the Flickers to come back, and then you'll use those two, the Flickers plus this, to go into a seal. So we'll just quickly do it just to explain it. So we're going Bident, target Genroku to summon. Move these two away into Dissipator. And then this one we go Dissipator effect to summon the Flickers back, because he is a light or dark. And then we'll go these two into a seals. Okay, so that's one way you could do it. I don't mind this way. This way is also pretty strong. And then obviously on their draw phase or standby, you'd go effect, detach, send in the Redox to then summon the Kwaku Meru Draco back. Perfect. And then we summon that one back. So then we have a bounce, a pop, and then a line of dark lockout. Now, on the turn when it gets back to you, you do have actually quite a lot of follow-up. So in the grave, we have Blaster, we have Tempest, and we have the Waterfall to be able to start coming back if stuff start happening. But also the funny thing is, because we were able to recycle this, put it back in the graveyard, if the Chasma gets blown up, and then it hits our turn again, we can just banish this plus a dragon to bring back Chasma if we want to just have another body on board, if we don't have any of the rulers and they've like sort of got rid of them all. That's one thing you can also do. And that's like the first variation of that combo. Alrighty guys, that second variation we'll quickly go over now as well, and I'll just explain from the start just so it's not confusing to watch. So like we said, Flickers plus a discard, we'll just use Mag as the example. So we'll go Flickers effect, discard these two, add one, and then add in the Tempest. We'll go effect of Sparks to detach to summon Blaster. Cool. And then we'll go Storm's effect. Make sure you banish this one, plus that one dragon that you just did before. Put banishments. Yeah, there we go. Cool, do summon. Chasma, and then we'll go Chasma effect. Make sure to detach that Blaster, like we said before. Send in the Waterfalls, and then that becomes, this effect becomes effect dump, so that's when we dump the Kwaku Meru Draco. Now here, this is where we go the Waterfall effect to banish the other two. Do not banish this, make sure you keep this engraved. So you're banishing the Blaster plus the Flickers at this point to summon this back. And then this will now trigger, when Blaster is banished, add any Fire Dragon from deck to hand. So at this point, we will be adding the Dora. There we go. We add the Dora. Cool. We then will normal Dora. And then we'll go effect to add a 1 level 4 Fire Dragon. This is where we add the Genroku. Cool. Add the Genroku. We'll then go effect to summon itself, become a level 4 tuner. And then at this point, we will then use Biden effect to target the Genroku. Alright, cool. So at this point, we're at this position. Quite a few things we can actually do here. So we will go for these two. To go into the Eclipse. Cool. And then we'll go Eclipse. So this targets a Baby Rule in Banishment, and then it summons a corresponding one from Banishment and or deck. But because we banished Blaster, we can summon it from Banishment. So we'll go Effective Eclipse, target Sparks and Banishment to summon the Blaster. Alrighty. Now, I always like to have follow-up. That's just the type of player I like to have. I always want to try and have as much follow-up in hand to make sure that I can keep going when it hits back to me. So at this point, I'll go Genroku effect to the Padra, and then we'll go Padra effect to add the Sangan spell trap. Now this just ensures that I do have follow-up for next turn. So they do have to be able to deal with a spell that gets me into full combo. So if they don't have a spell negate, they are gonna struggle a bit, especially with the amount of pushes I do have coming next turn. And then we'll just go into a Seals here. Now on their draw phase or standby, whatever you want to do. At this point, we will go Chasma effect to dump. We will dump the Redox, and then we will detach the Wind. And then we will target the Quacky Marrow Draco. So at this point, we have Climate in hand for follow-up. So we are able to get back to our full combo. We have the Chasma. So when he's destroyed by card effect or battle, he can summon one ruler from grave. So targets one from grave, special summons it, which is pretty good. And then we have the Spell and Trap, negate the activation and banish it, and then we have a bounce to get into whatever we want to get into. So when it also gets back to us, we do have 3 rulers in the grave, and then we also have the Tempest here as well. So if we negate the Spell and Trap, we have all 4 fire dragon rulers that are in the grave ready to go. So we could technically also go into the Disaster if we really wanted to. It's one of those cards where it's very situational, and you will see it once in a blue boon, and you'll go Blaster will, the Disaster will just win me game. It's extremely good against big piles, so decks like Horus, decks like Feedsmith, things like that, where they sort of just recycle each other from the graveyard. This is where Disaster really pops off. So having all 4 ready to go in the grave also helps out a lot. But this is the best board, I guess you would say, for the dragon rules off the flickers plus any dragon. It's pretty strong. But if you guys have any comments, questions, queries, make sure you put it in the comments below. I'm more than happy to hear it, answer any question you guys have for me. If you want to see any more dragon ruler combos, if you guys want to see how to play under certain hand traps, how to play around them, I'm more than happy to explain it and walk you guys through it. But anyway guys, I'll catch you later. Peace.